Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Kristen Upchurch, and I'm here today to share a personal story about my firstborn. When Chris and I got married, we were already 29 years old, and he had a son that was 5, and I knew I wanted to start a family as soon as possible. After a couple of months after we got married and we got settled in, we just started to try to have a baby. And month after month, I'd be let down, and finally, after 8 months, I found out I was pregnant. And being pregnant was the craziest thing in the world to me. And it didn't seem real. It took a couple of weeks to set in. And then I started getting sick. So it was real. It was very real. I was so nauseous, the only thing that I could keep down was Ensure and plain pancakes. And then after that settled down, you start to worry what mama doesn't, especially with a first-time pregnancy. And I was concerned whether or not he would turn out to be okay or have any issues. I drove an hour to work every day, so another concern was whether or not I would have a wreck or have a flat tire, break down, and then my phone not work or possibly go into labor. And thankfully, none of those things happened, and I finally came home. The last day I worked was a Friday, and then we had all weekend to kind of prepare, and Monday I was going to go to the hospital. Well, I spent that day by myself and made the mistake of watching A Baby Story and got even more scared about having a baby. Well, my husband came home from work that afternoon and we loaded the car up, and I made the last minute decision to get back out to go tell my dog goodbye because he was my only baby up until that point, and I knew things were going to change. So I said goodbye, and I got back in the car and we headed out to the hospital. And the hospital was an hour away. Well, we were laughing and talking and made a few phone calls, and we're telling everybody that we were going to the hospital. Well, 30 minutes into the ride, the worst thing that could possibly happen, my biggest fear, a teenager in an F-150 came across 4 lanes of traffic, and we hit him. There was no way to avoid it, and it was just the worst experience ever. I remember right before it happened, I planted my feet in the bottom of the car, and I grabbed the bar and just held on, and my whole belly just shook violently, and I just knew something was wrong. When the ambulance got there, I was so confused. About the only thing I could tell them was my name. I couldn't tell them my phone number, my address. I was just very shook up. But they got me in the ambulance, and they took me on to the hospital, and thankfully everything was okay. And they got me up to labor and delivery. And the next day at 12:05 p.m., I had a perfectly healthy baby boy. Now, the point of the story is, it didn't matter how much worrying I did, how sick I got, and how uncomfortable I was, it all turned out okay. And come here. And I would do it all over again, because this is what I got. Hey, can you say that? No. Thank you.